welcome back to my channel. Before we get into today's video, I thought I would let you guys know really quickly that there is a giant kitten face on my shirt. So now that we have the important things out of the way, we can get into the video today. As many of you know, Colourpop has a system on their website. It's called BYOP, Build Your Own Palette, where you can customize your own eyeshadow or face palettes. And they have a few different sizes. And basically you can choose cheek products, blushes, highlighters, pressed powders, and eyeshadows. And I think it's really cool because people can really customize their own palette to their liking of the exact products that they want. And it's perfect to travel with because sometimes we don't want to take 14 different palettes. Some palettes have like maybe 1 or 2 colors that you want to take with you, but this way you can have all your favorite shadows in one, and you can even pair your cheek and eyeshadow products in one palette. So Colourpop, so excited, has given me the opportunity to create my own palette, which they will be sharing on their website for you guys to buy the exact palette if you guys are interested, of course. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys my custom BYOP palette. This is my palette. As you're looking at this palette, it's pretty much on the more neutral side. As much as I love to play with color and I love colors, I feel like there's a lot of palettes I have that I can dip into when I feel like I'm in the mood for some color. But on an everyday basis, I'm a neutral girl. I'm always wearing some sort of variation of a brown, smoky eye or something of that sort. So I definitely wanted to make a palette that's like more true to me. I'm going to explain my thought process really quick. So this first row of shadows is all matte shadows except for this one right here, which is a really pretty metallic shade that is perfect for the brow bone and the inner corner. I love highlighting those areas and I think it's a must in any palette for me. And the rest are matte shadows that are a different variation. You have like those honey mustard colors, the warm orange shade, and a cool tone brown. You have some warm browns and a really dark shade to deepen up the look. I always love a really dark brown as opposed to like a black. It's a little bit easier to work with and not as intense. And then for the second row of shadows, I have 4 metallic shades. This one right here is a really beautiful duochrome. It's kind of like a coppery gold that shifts to like a hot pink color. It's really pretty. And then I have 2 more mattes in here that are more on like the plummy burgundy side, just because if I want to do something more plummy I can, or if I want to do something more warm or mix and match all the colors. What I also really like is that these 3 cheek colors can also act as really cool transition shades. You can use the pink to kind of soften the crease a little and then go in with a more plummy color, or you can use this as a really pretty cool tone transition shade as well, and of course a highlight shade. So you can pretty much do a lot with this. Even if you're not going to use this as a bronzer, this is going to be like a perfect transition color. But yeah, I wanted to do something I can pretty much mix and match and create different tones of looks. I'll be putting all the information about my palette, everything about the BYOPs, and all the shade names in order in case you guys are interested. So check the description for all the info. With all of that said, I think we should just dive into actually using my palette. I'm gonna start off with bronzer first. This is a matte bronzer in the shade Spectacle. I kind of wanted to get something that I don't really have a lot of in my collection, and that's like a very fair toned, cool toned bronzer shade or contour shade. I have a lot of like bronzers that are very warm, and I just kind of wanted something that is very soft, that I can chisel out my cheeks, that's very buildable and also not too warm. So this is what I'm going to use for my bronzer. I'm just going to go in, swirl. I'm going to take that on my Zoeva Luxe Sheer Cheek bronzer brush. This is my favorite. And I'm going to start building this up on my cheekbone. Even though it looks pretty fair in pan, it's very easily buildable, and it definitely shows up on my skin tone, and I'm not like afraid to build it up. It's really pretty natural color. Like I said, it's not too cool tone, but it's also not too warm. Our bronzer contour is on. Now we're gonna move on to blush. This is called To The 10, and it's a perfect everyday matte rosy pinky shade. You guys know I love like matte blushes. So I'm gonna take my Sigma F40 brush and I'm just going to sweep this onto my cheek. Oh, that's a cute color. Now it's time for my favorite part, and that is highlighter. This is called Padded Down. This is so intense. Just in pan, you can see how reflective and blinding this is gonna be, so I'm very excited. I mean, like, what? I mean, as you can tell, it is very blinding. A little goes a very long way. It's definitely not chunky and doesn't have like glitter particles in it. It's just really smooth and just gives your skin like that wet dewy, glowy look, and I love it. Wow, okay. I'm actually really obsessed with this highlighter. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And of course, we can't forget the nose. Ooh, ooh, all right. So this is all 3 of my cheek products, and now we are gonna move on to the eyes. I have 12 shadows in my palette, and 12 shadows on one eye look it's a little bit much. I mean, I could challenge myself and fit 12 shadows on my eyes some way, somehow, but I'm going to create a look that I would do naturally with this palette. I'm gonna start off with the shade Let Me Explain, which was that really beautiful metallic highlight shade. I'm gonna pop this underneath my brow bone. I'm gonna go into the shade Paper Tiger, and this is a really interesting like hot mustard matte shade, and this is gonna be my first transition color. I absolutely love shades like this in my crease. I'm applying this quite like messily. I just want to kind of blow it out and bring it out with a fluffier blending brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Koi, which is a matte kind of like creamy soft orange tone, and I'm also going to place this into my crease. I'm going to take a mixture of Paper Tiger and Koi, and I'm also going to kind of apply that on my lower lash line, get the same effect, really smudge this out. I'm going to go into the shade Top Notch, and I'm going to start deepening up my crease. I'm also going to take Top Notch and apply that to my lower lash line. I'm going to take the shades Get Out and Facet. I'm going to mix these 2 shades together and apply this to my crease. I'm going to take only Facet with a small little pencil brush, and I'm going to apply this to my lower lash line. I'm going to keep this color a little bit closer and more towards the edges of my lower lash line. So for my lids, I'm going to be using the duochrome from the palette. This is called Thank You Next. It is such a beautiful shadow. I don't know if you guys can pick up the different shifts in it, but this is what I'm going to use on my lids because it's really, really pretty. I'm going to apply this shadow dry first. I generally like to use duochromes a little bit wet just because it makes it extra metallic and then you can actually see the duochrome. So I'm just going to spritz my brush a little, and then I'm going to tap this all over my lid. So once I have the shadow on my lids, I'm going to go back to one of my blending brushes, and I'm just going to blend out the edges a little, just so it blends it a little bit better. I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade at 20 something with a small little flat brush, and I'm going to apply this right on the inner corners and just bring it up a little bit onto my lid. For the lower little inner corner of the eye, I'm taking the shade Ready or Yacht, which is a really pretty peachy metallic in there. Oh, it's so pretty. The last shadow I'm going to be using is called Cloud 9, and it's that perfect super dark matte brown shade, and this actually has been one of my favorite shadows for a while. I have this in another magnetic palette that I used to use and take with me everywhere. With this shadow, I'm basically going to deepen up the crease a little and kind of smudge it on my top lash line just to add a little bit more smokiness to my eye. I'm going to go back to a mixture of Koi and Paper Tigers, and once more, I'm just going to gently sweep this into my crease and bring it out just so I can see that like warm orangey yellow tone again. So here is the finished eye look. I absolutely love how it came out. Super glowy and smoky. I love like that warmth. I don't know, like I'm just really, really happy with this eye look. I actually ended up using 10 out of the 12 eyeshadows. So I almost got every eyeshadow on my eye. I mean, I could have if I really wanted to, but I didn't want to just jam all the colors on my eye, but it so happens that I ended up using 10 shadows. The 2 shades I didn't end up using were these 2 shadows right here, but that is okay because I can use those on another day. So to fully finish off the look, I'm going to use the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade Good and Plenty. I'm basically just going to line my lips and fill it all in with this color. So this is pretty much the final look using my palette. I'm really happy. Like everything came out beautiful. I love the eyes. I love the cheeks even. Like this highlighter, I keep seeing it in the mirror and it looks beautiful. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, there will be all the details in the description bar down below. If you guys are interested in picking up my palette, then feel free. And if you want to build your own, feel free. I think it's just a really fun idea, and it's always interesting to see what colors people will put together. Me and my kitten, we both thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of my palette, the look, and everything. As usual, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, mesijesibeauty, Instagram, MAKEUPBYJESI. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so before you go, and also hit that little bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. With all of that said, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!